You only need 20 minutes to make these delicious plant-based recipes. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're making some 20-minute meals that are super quick and also super delicious. In case you missed it, this week we've launched our new ebook, Basics of Bread. Me and Alex have put this together because so many of you ask for Alex's bread recipe. We've got 20 bread recipes in there with all of our top tips, how to knead bread, beginner guides, just so much information that means you'll never have to buy bread in the shop again. And this ebook has launched exclusively for a short period of time with the plant-based bundle. You may remember this from last year, but this year we've got so much new content. Every creator's put something new in there, so it's all loads of content that you've not seen before. We've got over 100 ebooks, courses and programs from some of my favorite vegan creators. It really is an incredible selection of information, recipes, and just everything that you need if you're wanting to go plant-based. So until Sunday, the 14th of July, all of the content within the bundle that's usually worth over $4,000 is only going to be $50. It's a massive steal. My ebooks alone cost more than the bundle if you were to buy them separately. It's our way of saying thank you and also supporting those of you who want to go plant-based or who want to live the vegan lifestyle. So I'll leave a link down below. All the recipes in this video are recipes from the bundle, so it gives you a bit of a taste for what you could find. And I really encourage you to go grab it before it actually expires, because you may be watching this video very close to the date that it runs out. So go click the link, check it's still live, and thank me later. For this recipe, we're going all the way back in time to my first ebook, Versatile Vegan, which is of course in the bundle. This recipe is a barbecue udon noodle dish, which is super easy. And of course it's very versatile, hence the name. Just unreal. The way to make your noodles fast is to always have some kind of instant noodles in your cupboard. It can be this kind, these quick cook, thick udon noodles. They're just already cooked basically, and you throw them in the pan. Or you can get the kind of rice noodles that you just put in some boiling water and they only take 1 or 2 minutes. Before you do anything, drain your tofu and press it. I really do recommend that you buy a tofu press like this if you eat tofu regularly, because it just saves a lot of faff. But if you don't have one, just press your tofu in between 2 plates with something heavy on top, maybe a couple of cookbooks. And you can just pop this aside while you chop up your veg. If you really want to save time, then chop your vegetables in order of using them and get on with cooking. So chop your onion, put it in the pan to start cooking and frying, and then you can chop up your mushrooms while the onion's cooking, etc. I'm chopping up a mixture of mushrooms, so chestnut and shiitake. I always love mushrooms in a stir fry because they add that kind of meaty texture to the dish. But if you don't like mushrooms, then you can swap this for any other veg. I always love pak choy in a stir fry because they're so quick to cook and they're just delicious. But you could use broccoli or spinach. Start with a little oil in a pan. I'm using coconut oil, but you can use any oil. The smell of this always reminds me of popcorn because I use coconut oil for my popcorn when I make it at home. Add in your onion and garlic. Whoops. And then just fry this until it's softened. Gosh, that smells delicious. Now we can add our mushrooms, chili, and tofu. And just let this do its thing and just kind of give it a little shake until the mushrooms are all nice and reduced. And just keep tossing this as it cooks, makes it very easy, and it also stops you from disturbing the tofu and breaking it, because a spoon can sometimes do that. So just give it a nice flick. So I really whack the heat up because then you get a really nice brown on your tofu and your mushrooms. As you can see, they're looking nice and cooked, and that is achieved by just having the heat really high. And now we can add our sauce, starting with around 3 to 4 tablespoons of barbecue sauce. I'm going to do 4. Generous helping of soy sauce. We can turn the heat down now, and a little bit of water, so around 3 tablespoons. Gosh, I apologise if it was focusing on the barbecue sauce just then. I'm now going to add the pak choy because this really doesn't take very long to cook. And then a really lovely addition is the juice and zest of a lime. I am a massive lime and lemon fan. Squeeze that in, give it a good old toss. And then you can also nestle in your instant noodles. And I just like to nestle them in there. Then you can add an extra little splash of water to help them kind of steam. Now the noodles are all cooked, you can give it one final toss just to combine everything. Oh, look at that. Let's dish this up. Final touch of a little bit of coriander and a few spring onion. My mouth is watering. It's something about udon noodles. It's the fact they're so like slimy. Just unreal. Utterly delightful. You don't need takeaway if you can make this at home. Our next recipe is from my ebook Plant Kitchen Comforts, which is also in the bundle, of course. So good. It's a taco bean bowl. I feel like this is a really good one to learn and to have in your arsenal because you can adjust it and make it very adaptable to the things that you have in the cupboard. You can swap the black beans for chickpeas or butter beans, and you can really sort of vary up the vegetables throughout the seasons and whatever it is that you have or are craving. It's super fast. The only prep that you have to do if you don't have a high-speed blender is soak the cashews beforehand. You can do this overnight or in some boiling water for an hour. It takes a few seconds. I don't usually bother because my blender does a very good job at blending cashews, but if you don't have one that does that, then just soak your cashews beforehand. I'm making the cashew sauce first, so start with cashew nuts, a cup, so 150 grams. And like I said, if you don't have a high-speed blender, then soak these for an hour in boiling water or overnight in water. Salt, nutritional yeast, this gives it that cheesy flavour, non-dairy milk, paprika, chili, and a clove of garlic. I'll blend this up and just basically add a bit more liquid if it needs it. It isn't a Maddie video if I don't forget to put something in the blender. Totally forgot the juice of a lime or lemon. And there we have a really nice smooth sauce. So I've drained and rinsed these black beans. I'm just gonna mash them a little bit and also do this in a food processor, but I have not got the patience to wash up 2 appliances. And you don't need to do too much here, just give them a quick little mash. You can mash them more in the pan. So there they are, a little bit mashed. Just got a pan ready with some oil and heating up, and I'm just gonna switch on the grill as well to heat up. Add in the onion, along with garlic. Now we can add in some spices. So I'm doing cumin, chili, paprika, and a pinch of salt, and then frying that off. And then add in your beans. And then you just let this cook for 5-10 minutes and let it do its thing to make your refried beans. To make your homemade tortilla chips, just get yourself some tortillas. These are just wheat and corn ones. You can do a big one. I'm gonna do 2 of these because they're a little small. And just chop them into big triangles. To be honest, you can chop them into whatever shape you like. You can even rip them apart to make them rustic, but I'm just gonna do kind of like a pizza. Arrange them on your baking tray. A sprinkle of sea salt. And then just grill them for a few minutes on each side, just keeping an eye on them so that they don't burn. Now everything's cooked, you can assemble your bowl. It's really as simple as that. So I'm just gonna start with a base of romaine lettuce. Next, add in your refried beans. Some delicious avocado. Some halved cherry tomatoes. Sweet corn, coriander. Optionally, you can add a few little chilies as well. Our tortillas. Some lime. I put a wedge there, but I'm gonna squeeze some in as well. And then the very best bit, a drizzle of cheese nacho sauce. The good thing about this is you're gonna have some leftovers too to enjoy and dip some extra tortillas in. And then the way to do it, get your tortilla, dip it in there. The good thing about this meal is that it's a really good meal prep option because you've got the cheese sauce that you can use for different things. You can make extra tortilla chips so that you can have that with the cheese sauce as a snack later through the week. And you can double up the refried beans, which is what I did just then, so that I can have this again tomorrow. It's kind of like a hack that I do for meal prep without actually having to do meal prep. I just double and make extra whenever I'm cooking to save my own time in the future. But let's dig in, shall we? I mean, I have already dug in, but let's try and get a good mouthful. So good. For the next recipe, we are going to one of the books from the bundle called Everyday Eats, filled with so many easy vegan recipes. I'm going to be making their sun-dried tomato fettuccine. So good. However, I have got linguine instead of fettuccine, similar, but this is what I had. And we're gonna make it, it's very simple, super quick, super easy, and hopefully delicious. I've not tried this one before, but I'm excited to give it a go, and it only takes 20 minutes, of course. So we're starting with half a cup of cashews, and the hack for these, like in the nacho cheese I showed you, is to put them in boiling water rather than having to soak them overnight. You don't need to do this for very long, 10 minutes is enough, and if you have a high-speed blender, then it really should blend them just fine. If you don't have a high-speed blender, then soak them for a little bit longer. So I've taken a tin of chickpeas, drained and rinsed them, and then we just need to toss these with a little olive oil, and then I'm just gonna lightly season, make sure that's all coated. And these are gonna go in the oven to roast for 15 to 20 minutes while we get started on our pasta. So this recipe is so simple. You literally just blend together all of your ingredients in a high-speed blender, boil up your pasta, and then we're gonna mix it together. So first is 2 cloves of garlic, 1/4 of a cup of sun-dried tomatoes. Just gonna put a little bit of that oil in there too because it tastes so yummy. Around 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So that'll be around half a lemon. Salt, and of course our soaked cashews. I'm gonna add the water in too because you need half a cup of water as well. And then a splash of olive oil. If it needs it, you can add a little bit extra olive oil or a splash of water, but it should be fine. Just scrape down the sides and give it another blend until it's really nice and smooth. So this is quite a fun hack written in the recipe. I've put the spinach in a drainer first, and to sort of par cook it, we're gonna pour our cooked pasta. So it will kind of partly cook the spinach. I thought that was a very, very fun hack that they've included. I've also saved a cup of pasta water to make the sauce nice and thick. And now we just mix everything together. So pour in your sauce. I'm gonna pour the pasta water into the blender to help get those last bits out. And then we mix. Smells so delicious. Perfect mixture of sweet and salty like those tomatoes. And that is the perfect level of saucy. Oh my God, this smells so good. It's so creamy and delicious, and that was so fast. And I feel like it's the sort of thing you probably have the ingredients for in the cupboard. Maybe the only thing that you need to go out and buy is some chickpeas and sun-dried tomatoes, but I tend to always have chickpeas in the cupboard. Super affordable, absolutely delicious, and really creamy. So if you've got the bundle, it's in Everyday Eats. I love the addition of the chickpeas as well. The secret is that when I stop recording, I just carry on eating. I'm in a dress, it's summer. Finally sunny and I can put a summer dress on. For the next recipe, we're going to the ebook 14-Day Vegan Challenge. This is definitely a highlight in the bundle. I love this book, especially if you're new to veganism. The recipes are really wholesome, comforting, healthy, well-rounded, there's a real balance in there, and it's great if you're new to veganism. They've got everything in this ebook, and I was scrolling through, the photos are so pretty. And this recipe caught my eye because I love a spring roll. It's what I ate pretty much every day when we traveled in Southeast Asia. You literally just wrap up your spring rolls together with your rice paper. I managed to get this in Tesco. If you're in the UK, they do sell these in Tesco, and you have a really delicious peanut dipping sauce with it. This recipe is super easy. It's just assembling the rolls. We've got some nice veggies to go inside them. So we'll chop all of these up into 5mm sticks so that they can go inside our lovely rice paper rolls. All of the time for this recipe is just prepping and assembling. You just got to chop all your veg and mix together your sauce. Don't you just love cabbage? Like, look at that, red cabbage. Oh. So we start by taking our rice paper, dipping it into some warm water for about 10 to 15 seconds until it's pliable and soft. Lay it on a dry chopping board, and then we just layer up our little veg sticks. So you can go with a few carrots, cucumber, pepper, a little bit of cabbage on top. And then I've also got some bean sprouts, and finally a little bit of coriander and some mint. And then we wrap. So I'm gonna fold over the ends, and then you wanna wrap it as tightly as possible to create your rice paper wrap. Now we have our beautiful spring rolls. We can mix up our peanut sauce, which I'm so excited for. Starting with 3 tablespoons of smooth peanut butter, 3 tablespoons of coconut milk. Shake it up beforehand. I didn't, so I just gave it a quick stir so you get a good old mixture in there. Teaspoon of tamari or soy sauce. Some fresh ginger. I always keep our ginger in the freezer so that you can microplane it. Makes it so simple. Oh, and I love a gingery flavour, so I'm going to do quite a lot. A little dash of maple syrup, like half a teaspoon, like a really small amount. And now for our spices. Half a teaspoon of coriander, half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of turmeric, and some chili. I'm just gonna add a little bit to begin with and then taste it, and I might add some more. A little bit of salt, and then blend this until it's smooth, and you can add extra coconut milk if it needs it. And you can totally use a food processor or just mix it in a bowl. I'm gonna add some lime juice just because I love the taste of it, and it will help it blend with a bit more liquid, but this is optional. I'm just adding this because that's what I like to do. I like to adapt things, make them my own. Let's dig in. I have been transported back to Southeast Asia, to Vietnam, to Thailand. I literally, anytime this was on the menu, and it was always on the menu pretty much, I would always get this as my starter. It was my favourite thing. This is a great combo because the fat in the coconut milk and the peanut butter really helps you to absorb all the nutrients and all the veg. And I've cut these open so that you can obviously enjoy how colourful and lovely, but if you're making them at home, I wouldn't recommend cutting them open. Just eat them as a whole because they might fall apart a bit more if you cut them open. Oh my God, let's taste this. Dip this in. I can already tell these are going to become my new hyperfixation meal. I'm going to eat these for every lunch. They're so good. Now I know that I can get the rice paper in Tesco. It's going to just be an everyday thing. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Let me know if you recreate any of the recipes. Like I mentioned, they're all from ebooks in the bundle. If you want to be entered into the giveaway, a quick reminder, buy the bundle between now and tomorrow, the 11th of July at 5 p.m. BST, and 5 of you will win copies of my cookbook, Make It Vegan, and 1 of you will win a $100 gift card to wherever you want. Make sure to grab it really quickly if you're interested. I'll leave the link below. So give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll leave a link to my recipe playlist for you to check out if you want some more, and I'll see you in my next video.